Sanditon Season 3 just returned with another episode, which was full of both love and heartbreak. We finally saw Georgiana's confrontation with Lockhart and Henry talking about his sexuality with Arthur. But most importantly, we witnessed Alexander dropping the L-bomb and declaring his love for Charlotte. Let's look at all the important storylines of this episode. It was an episode of disappointment and then relief for Georgiana, who had to face horrible accusations thrown at her face in court. From what Lockhart claimed, Mr. Lamb sold Georgiana's mother to another plantation owner only 6 months after Georgiana was born. Lockhart even brought a document proving the sale. However, we are not inclined to believe this document is real, since Lockhart's lawyer committed perjury when he got a fake physician to testify against Georgiana. They strived to prove that Mr. Lamb's health was deteriorating in his last days, so the inheritance letter he wrote for Georgiana must have been the work of an unstable mind. But thankfully, Samuel came to the rescue and proved that the doctor they brought to court testified for money. Ultimately, the judge believed Lockhart's case was in vain, and Georgiana got to keep her inheritance. Amidst all the stress of the trial, Georgiana had to deal with Otis, who came to visit her. They had a civil conversation, and Otis wanted to support Georgiana emotionally. He then left her a note with his address written on it. But Georgiana threw it in the fire at the end of the episode because after much contemplation, she realized that Otis couldn't provide her with the protection she needed. She wants to leave Otis behind, but will she be able to do that? We'll see that in the next episodes. There was one storyline that we were anticipating, and that was the one with Henry and Arthur. During a conversation at the Colburn's shooting party, Henry told Arthur, somewhat metaphorically, that he prefers the company of men rather than women. You should have seen the look on Arthur's face. He seemed terrified to hear such words. When Henry asked if Arthur shared the same interest, Arthur couldn't reply. He looked like he was about to cry. Thinking that the answer was no, Henry immediately left with embarrassment. Honestly, we do believe Arthur is also like Henry. The way he talked about Lockhart and how he trusted him so much made us think that his feelings couldn't be simply friendship. He trusted Lockhart that much because he was vulnerable against him. Now, it appears he feels the same way against Henry. We hope he can take notice of his real feelings and talk to Henry about them. Lastly, we should talk about Charlotte and Alexander, as the episode included an amazing but heartbreaking scene that involved these two. Lady Susan and Samuel decided to unite Alexander and Charlotte, realizing how much they were in love. After the shooting party, Charlotte was supposed to leave. She decided to walk on the cliffs, and who met her there? Mr. Colburn himself. Before this scene, Samuel talked to Alexander about how it was evident that he loved Charlotte and she loved him back. He encouraged Alexander to talk to her because she wasn't married yet. This magically worked, and Alexander took off to find Charlotte. This scene right there on the cliffs witnessed perhaps the most honest we've ever seen Alexander. He started by saying that he should talk about how devoutly he admires Charlotte. He then said, "Every day of my life that is not spent in your company is a day wasted. And I fought in vain to deny it. But I'm in love with you, Miss Haywood." After this grand declaration, the two passionately kissed, but it wasn't long before Charlotte stopped with anger. She told him they shouldn't have done that, and he shouldn't have said those things. But Alexander said that he regretted not saying them sooner. Charlotte then turned angry and asked him, "Then why didn't you?" She reminded him that she was to be married and that she had given a promise to Ralph and her parents. Even though Alexander asked her to stay and make a life with him, Charlotte said that it was too late and left. Unfortunately, this is where the episode ended. When we thought Charlotte would give up on her engagement, she stood her ground. She was right about Alexander being late, but he couldn't have known she would get engaged so soon. Anyways, there are still 3 episodes left in the season, so we're sure there will be more heated scenes between them. That's all from Season 3's Episode 3. We tried to mention the most important storylines of the episode. Did you enjoy our recap? What did you think of that last scene? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you soon.